Malcolm and Marie, new Netflix film shot in black and white, written and directed by Sam Levinson, starring John David Washington and Zendaya. It's one of the first movies shot during the COVID lockdowns, and it shows there's only two people in the film and basically a single location. The story is also fairly simple. A director comes back home with his girlfriend after a successful premiere of his new movie, that, as it turns out, was at least partially inspired by the life experiences of the girlfriend of Marie. And as such, the celebration quickly turns sour as Marie is upset because Malcolm apparently forgot to thank her. And they begin arguing, and this little initial pretext eventually grows into a much deeper fight about their entire relationship, about appreciation for one another, about their life experiences, and also about Malcolm's film itself. So, put it this way, it's a pretty exhausting movie to watch because it's essentially just two people fighting for 2 hours with only brief moments of respite. And some of the stuff they end up saying or shouting at one another is pretty damn hurtful. So it's definitely not a pleasant movie in any sense of the word. Now, the true question for me is it any good at what it tries to do, which is a lover's debate? And it's tough for me to answer because I think the movie is fairly uneven. There were individual moments which were really strong, where I thought this is really great, but there were also times, and I think those were more common, when I was slightly bored by it. And here's the key thing for me: movies such as this stand on the script and the performances primarily, just because there's not much else going on. They stand on how much you can believe that what's going on is real. That's the gist of it. And for me, as I was watching the movie, I found myself thinking, these are two really good actors giving really strong performances. But I don't think there was a moment where I thought to myself, these are real people. And there is a significant difference between the two because, as it is, the film does feel stagey and artificial, at least in some moments. The script is also not flawless. While the relationship fights are quite well written, the dialogue is snappy and quick and intelligent. There are also moments when the conversation veers into the topic of movies, art in general, and the reception of such art, with mostly Malcolm whining about shit. And I have to say, these scenes felt very pretentious, overdrawn, and pretty much unnecessary to me. They distracted us from the meat of the story, which is the interpersonal stuff. Now, to be clear, I don't think that Malcolm and Marie is necessarily a bad movie. I think, honestly, a lot of my reception had to do with a particular mood I was in when I was watching it. I guess it just didn't mesh too well with the movie's tone. Perhaps if I saw it again, I would have liked it better. Because there are things in here that are very good, individual shining moments. I mean, some of the characterization and nuggets of humor in the generally dark stuff that's happening. I also like the way it's shot. I mean, the visual side, but it just didn't wow me. I thought it was all right, let's say above average, but it is far from being a genuinely great movie that I would like to come back to.